Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
And we are excited that you're here tonight for a wonderful evening of geeking out together about really awesome things, as we always do now, because we are into this routine, is we're going to talk about travel first, because that is what we do. And we are looking forward to traveling someday, maybe with you. But Mouseways Travel is the company that we use to help us book our next generation. That's Star Trek. Next vacation. And that's what you should do too. Matthew at Mouseways can help book your trip and also save you money. And so when you're ready to go to Walt Disney World or Disneyland or any other Disney destination, let Matthew and his team at mouseways.com/dapsmagic take care of you and make sure that you're mentioning Daps Magic sent you. And this will help us bring more magic to you with new devices, new news, new videos, new microphones, all of that kind of things. So go to mouseways.com/dapsmagic for your next Disney vacation and tell them that your friends at Daps Magic sent you. Tell them your buddy pal.
Your buddy pals at Daps Magic sent you. Could you imagine if that was so funny and you threw in all that great stuff about getting new microphones? Could you imagine if they couldn't hear us that whole time?
That would have been funny. I think there would have been more comments happening though.
I agree.
And you probably would have gotten a text message or something. I don't know.
Probably. That's why I don't keep my phone on Do Not Disturb in the show anymore.
That is very wise, actually.
So that I get...
Good call. So we've got a lot to cover tonight, so let's get right into it. I think the first thing to talk about is Disneyland is now selling tickets. You can get them on Disneyland.com tonight, or you can go to mouseways.com/dapsmagic, and Matthew will help you get them too, which I discovered after spending 7 hours on Disneyland.com. So my experience was very fun. I got to start because I wanted to be a early adopter. What do they call it when you like try to be the first one?
I mean, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I got woken up by a dog at 4 o'clock on Thursday. Was it Thursday morning?
It was Thursday morning.
4 o'clock Thursday morning. I got woken up by a dog, and then a big truck went by about a half an hour later. And at that point, I had this wonderful thought that wasn't so wonderful of like, you know what? I'm just going to check. So every half an hour when I would get woken up, I was like, hey, is there anything happening yet? No. Disneyland.com tickets are exactly the same. Then at 6:30, tried again, nothing happened. And was like, okay, well, that's dumb. Maybe I'll go put coffee on or something. So I go put coffee on. I look down at my phone and Angela's like, hey, guess what? The site's up. So that was 6:38. I run over, log in, start the wonderful wait.
And let me tell
tried
you,
to text Katie, who didn't respond.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was, how you say, asleep. But it's always a scary thing to me. Mm-hmm. When it's 6 a.m. and I'm getting a phone call from you.
6:42. Yes.
It was 6:41.
41. I was close.
But it was so scary.
Yes.
Because I immediately was like, and I don't even think, I just pick up my phone. I don't give myself time to wake up. If you're calling me while I'm asleep, I'm like,
if I'm calling you, period, something's happening. Like
Mr. Naps does not call people.
These aren't really for phones unless you're working. Like to me, when it goes up to your ear, you must be working. You're on the clock.
No, I agree.
That's the only reason it would happen. So I believe the conversation went and I was like, the website's up, get on your computer. Okay, click.
Almost can guarantee you that's how it works, because I don't say words when I'm awake.
I told a few other friends that this was happening as well. They got on. One of them actually got their tickets within like 3 hours.
Yeah. They were the lucky ones.
They were, I think by 10 o'clock, they'd already had tickets and they were on their way.
That would have been my ideal day.
Yeah. So my day didn't go that way.
No, it didn't.
I went on Zoom meetings throughout the day, and about 11 something, I realized that I was under that wonderful countdown of like, oh, I'm under an hour finally. Mm-hmm. And I got down to 7 and I was like, oh, I'm almost there. And then it said recalculating. I was like, wait, what?
Well, didn't it say you got to 2 minutes or 1 minute and then you were supposed to get in the site and then it said recalculating?
No, it was at 7.
Oh, I remember it being so close.
No, 2 minutes and 1 minute was later.
Yes.
Yeah. So then it started recalculating and that went forever. Mm-hmm. And then it was more than an hour wait, which also seemed to go forever. And during this, we discovered you could also buy AAA tickets and save a little bit of cash.
And we are Southern California AAA members.
Yep. So logged in AAA, got my tickets, got Katie's tickets.
Yes, you did. Because for some reason,
her AAA wasn't working.
I'm a little feisty about this. I have a valid AAA membership. Yep. I have been driving a vehicle since 2012, I
Good
think.
job.
I have been a AAA member since I got my little beep beep license. Okay,
It worked
beep
out.
beep. It didn't work for some reason, so you bought my ticket.
Yep. And then about an hour later, suddenly I realized that my screen was back on the countdown, and it picked right up at 7, went down to 0. I realized, hey, I don't need to buy tickets, but I can still get reservations. So then, long story short, we got our reservations.
There was a lot of magic
and
involved.
A lot of magic happened, and it was not the parade though. And we've got tickets for Disneyland, which is great.
Yes, we do.
And I did see Clocky got his tickets super fast on.
We were commenting. We had
like,
our.
How did you do that?
We had our own personal commentary, and I said, "Did you see Clocky's Instagram story?"
Yes,
Clocky's in.
I still like him.
It's okay. We do still like you.
Yes.
We also have a postcard from you.
And honestly, that's how these things always go, though. Is like it's always a mad adventure, and you don't know who's going to go first or second, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. And I know people that got on at like 7:40 and were done 30 minutes later, and other people that were like 6:30, like right before us, and waited 12 hours. Like it just didn't seem to make any.
And this whole time, my computer never went below over an hour. Like the entire time that we were getting there. I never got under an hour. So I was just laying in bed half asleep watching Netflix.
That's exciting.
It was so thrilling. So I contributed.
So the good thing is now is you can go and get your tickets quite quickly, and there's still many dates available.
There's a lot.
And that will be interesting because the way this is all progressing is we could see a change in the rules from the state level any day.
Definitely.
In theory. Like they might have already happened for all I know. And that could lead to out of state people being able to purchase tickets if Disney were to choose to do that. And so it'll be really interesting to see what sort of a rush, what sort of a wave, whatever you want to call it, of people and guests coming into the park that
I think if out of state visitors are allowed in,
all those reservations are gone.
All of those reservations are gone. Because I went in a couple days ago. I got my mom and I tickets for a random day. That was so easy. I literally was in under a minute. I got our tickets and reservations.
And you can keep checking if you're not getting the day you want. So I had a friend go in today, and I think he said it took him 5 minutes, and he got June 4th DCA. And so he's going to get to open Avengers Campus, which he's super excited about. And in fact, I think the last time I saw him was the opening day of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And we took a picture by the Millennium Falcon. So now I feel like we have to take a picture near the Quinjet or something. But,
I think so.
But keep checking back, because as people like change their reservations or whatever, you could potentially get some of these higher peak days.
Definitely.
And I think it'll be interesting to see too, is once tickets open up to everybody, nationwide, I think there's going to be a rush of out-of-state people coming in initially. But what happens after that first wave of like everybody's used up their vacation or whatever? I don't know. Like, it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. And Bailey's saying some out-of-state people are bending the rules solely based on the fact that they own property in California and they don't actively live in our county. That doesn't surprise me, but I would just say to everyone, play by the rules, because then hopefully the game lasts longer. That's what it's for, is really to make it the best for everybody. So with the reopening of Disneyland, and we want to hear this from you as well, what one attraction that will be reopening on opening day, so no Grizzly River, no Matterhorn.
Darn, you know how much I love those two attractions.
Yeah. No, I think Sailing Ship Columbia is not initially. But what one attraction, and let us know in the comments as well, are you most looking forward to experiencing? And I will let you say one for Disneyland and one for Disney California Adventure.
But both the ones I want to say are in Disneyland.
Well, I said one.
Okay. I'm going to say Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
My other answer is Haunted Mansion.
Nobody heard it.
Nobody heard it. But I'm really excited to see Rise again, mainly because we only had her for a month and a half before COVID shut the park down.
Yep.
So I think that I'm excited. Hopefully we get to experience that when we go again.
And for Disney California Adventure?
That's a great question because I feel like I never go on anything in Disney California Adventure. I can't even think of attractions at Disney California Adventure. The one I probably go on the most is The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
So, oh no, Soarin'. Oh gosh.
I was kind of waiting for that, and I'm curious.
What version?
I'm assuming it's the new version when it reopens, because I
assuming.
feel like they'd be making a big deal, even though it was the old version when the park closed.
I know, and that's why I was waiting for it, because I was like, oh, maybe they said, oh, the movie's already in there. I know it's not how it works, but movie's already in there. Just
flipping a switch,
just
whatever.
Just flip it. I'm assuming it's going to be Soarin' Over the World, but I would really, really love if it was Soarin' Over California.
I would love if they did one on each side just to see,
totally.
I would just be curious what the draw is. Numerics, I'd be curious, and maybe somebody like Touring Plans has that. But also, yeah, I'd be very curious.
On a funny note, this is just a real life thing that some people might enjoy.
Real life.
I have a Glade plugin in my house. I've got this new one. It's like bamboo and something. Smells like Soarin' Over the World. In that scene where like all the grass and stuff. The second I plugged it in, I was like, this smells like Soarin' Over the World.
Okay.
Yeah, if I could find ones that like matched other Soarin' Over California scents, I would be thrilled. I would make my whole house smell like different areas of Soarin' Over California.
Okay.
But I haven't gotten there yet. So, but if you want your house to smell like Soarin' Over the World, get the bamboo Glade plug-in thing.
There you go.
Anyway,
maybe that's an article you can write.
Hashtag not sponsored.
How to make smells from Glade smell like Disneyland in your own home.
I'll work on it. Y'all said it'd be a target for an article.
Best Glade smells to make your house sound like Disneyland.
I'll do it. Don't tempt me.
That'd be funny. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Disneyland Railroad. That's no surprise there. Mark Twain is right up there too, though. Like those two are always way up there. I think for Disney California Adventure, it's hard now because I would have always said Muppets or Muppet Vision before.
What if that would be
amazing.
They just said, oh, surprise.
Yeah.
Muppets are back.
They're back. Yeah.
It's the Muppets again.
I think it probably is Soarin'.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, I enjoy Pixar Pal Around just because you get to see the entire resort, and that's pretty. But in Monsters is always fun. Actually, I might have to say Radiator Springs Racers, though, because that one's always
When was the last time we went on that attraction?
But it's one of the best attractions. That's why we don't go on it so often. It's because, one, the line is always super long, and two, it never gets old that way.
That's fair.
And
no, that's very fair.
That one's probably actually the one I would choose is Radiator Springs Racers, because I just think that is the most
I miss
immersive
Racers.
and iconic
attraction
in that park. And I just love walking into Cars Land. So second part of this question is, what food from each park are you most looking forward to? And you cannot say, like, you know how for A Touch of Disney, they have Disneyland foods in DCA. So you can't say the Disneyland foods that are in DCA, like Bengal barbecue doesn't count. Monte Cristo doesn't count. That's a Disneyland food. We will let corn dogs count in either park because they, prior to this, had them in both parks.
You're going to laugh.
Okay, go ahead.
So my Disneyland answer
does it involve cheese?
Is a Mickey pretzel.
Okay.
My California Adventure
and let us know what you'd like to know to eat in each park as well.
My California Adventure answer is the Sonoma Terrace pretzel. I'm mostly kidding. No, Mickey pretzel for sure in Disneyland. I really miss my chili cheese fries at Smoke Jumpers. I know they're not like a staple. They are not an iconic Disney California Adventure food. But man, I miss my Sunday night chili cheese fries.
Those are good. Those are very good.
Like, we have been through so much together. Like the end of D23 Expo weekend when they fell on the floor and I cried. Mm-hmm. Those chili cheese fries and we've been through it. We've had some Disney memories together.
there you go.
or Red Bull mac and cheese.
You only get to choose one.
Hey!
You're picking like 5.
I love food.
That is okay. I think I'm going to go with Disney California Adventure first.
Okay.
And the number 1 food I'm going to stick with. I was going back and forth. They're both from Lamplight. You want to know both now?
Yeah, I'd love to know both. I mean, I've said both. I
was thinking of the potato skin.
Oh, I love those.
Potato skins are amazing. But then also the nachos. And I don't actually care which ones.
I was going to say lobster or tri-tip.
I like them both.
I prefer the tri-tip.
I'm okay with either.
They're good, though.
Jack Cookie Num Num. Very good also.
Oh, Jack Cookie.
And at Disneyland, this will come as no surprise to anybody. An Americano.
From Starbucks.
From the Market House. Yes. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shock.
That's so true. Or a Ronto wrap. Like, and that's a nostalgia thing. I really like the Ronto wrap. It makes me happy. A Ronto wrap or a fuzzy tauntaun. Those are fun.
I love a fuzzy tauntaun.
Those are all really good things. And so that'll be things that we look forward to when we get to go back to Disneyland, which opens 10 days from today.
Insane.
I should have led with that because that's really the lead.
That's insane.
Tri-tip
so
nachos.
close.
I don't think they're on the menu. You just have to ask.
Yeah, so they are just the lobster nachos, but they replaced the lobster with tri-tip.
Yeah. And I think it's because they share kitchens with another location or something like that. And so it works. I don't know entirely.
They're so
but it's
good.
Delicious. Yeah,
they are. I prefer them to lobster nachos because to me,
didn't I get like a tri-tip mixed with chicken nachos once too?
I think so.
I think that was good too.
I really like lobster as a standalone item. I don't really like lobster when it's mixed in with things. So I'm a really big fan of the tri-tip nachos. Also, the last time we were at Lamplight, you had me eat a whole jalapeno for fun.
That was fun.
Someone still has that video. I don't know who. It's not me.
I know who does.
That's ominous. But yeah.
Yeah. Schmoozies. That's a great one. All right. So let's hop on over to Florida now, sticking with the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge theme. And as I think about this, I have a little bit of flashbacks because when Murray and I went in September, you still had to be in Hollywood Studios to get the boarding group for Rise of the Resistance. And we made it in with like literally 15 seconds to spare. I don't remember. It was really close and it was stressful. But one of the things that I haven't experienced, you haven't experienced yet, is Savi's workshop. And we learned this week that it has gone up in price by a whole $20. I'm going to lead off.
Okay, go for it.
Because we were talking about this before and I was like, this was one of those things that I think if Disneyland and Walt Disney World had been open for the last year would have happened a year ago.
I think we would already see a bigger price jump than this.
Yeah. I mean, it probably would have been up 50 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that probably in another 2 years, we will see it fully make the transition to $300, to be completely honest.
I think that's very fair.
2 years, 3 years, 5 years. In a not super far off timeline, I think we're going to see it get to the full $100 increase.
With one caveat.
What was that?
How many people actually want to experience this and go in a room like that after a pandemic?
Well, that's why I'm saying give it maybe 5 years for these.
Well, that's my point though, is there could be a dip when because I think there's a very distinct possibility that you see things open up as the summer goes and more people are vaccinated and they lift restrictions. And so in theory, all of these people could be showing up and all of these people be like, I can do this now. I'm going to spend was it $220 now?
It's $220
now. There could be this, though, psychological thing that happens where we've all been home for a year. We've only been around one person or 3 people, like these really small groups. And the idea of being, with, 30 people in the room? I don't actually remember now.
But you have to think that they're also cutting capacity in half.
I'm saying when that's lifted.
Oh, true.
And I could see there being reservations aren't required in Florida as it is. I could just see them not having the same amount of demand that normally one would expect. And so it slows down their price increase. Okay. Mainly as people recover psychologically from the last year. Like it's going to be
Will I ever?
No, it'll be
tune
different. Watch next week on Geeks Corner.
As we watch my psychological meltdown, kids.
Comments.
No, I'm not taking comments at this time. Thank you for your understanding.
Just M&Ms, lots of M&Ms.
Yeah, and Skittles.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And
definitely.
And I'm
still considering doing it because I have spent the last year and a half kicking myself that I didn't build a lightsaber at Savi's before the park closed.
Well, in opening day, we got a video of it, and my brother went in with Calvin.
Yeah.
And Calvin is admittedly not a Star Wars fan.
Yes.
And the guy cried watching it.
Window to the Magic. Go check out. They have an audio experience of it.
And tell them Mr. Dapp sent you, because we are a long time. It's interesting. Paul, who runs Window to the Magic, and I met in 2005. I can distinctly remember when and where. And we've remained friends for however long that is now.
16 years.
16 years. And that's the magic of Disney right there.
But no, he spent the whole day being like, yeah, I'm going to do Savi's just for the audio experience. I don't really care. And then cried. Yeah. So that to me was when I was like, I should probably do this lightsaber building. And then reservations were always full and I didn't want to walk up and stand and all those things. So I just never did it.
Yeah.
And then the park closed for a year and a half and I was like, I could have a lightsaber right now. And I don't.
We could have had it on the Geeks Corner set. Make really cool pictures and effects.
You think I'd bring my lightsaber to the Geeks
Corner?
I do
actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Angela brought up an interesting point too, is only certain people are going to want so many lightsabers in the effectiveness. And that actually will be determined by future Disney Plus shows and movies as well. Like depending on if we see Ahsoka, more of Ahsoka in Disney Plus shows and things like that. But
then I think you're going to see this new demand at Doc Ondar's.
Oh, totally.
For the Kyber crystals, for the hilts.
Yep. Well, for everything.
Yeah, for all of the accessories that you can get after you build your lightsaber. You know what I mean?
Totally.
New demand.
Totally. All right. What's the next story, Katie?
I know why you're making me do this. Mads Mikkelsen is joining the cast of Indiana Jones. I know why you made me.
What do you think of that?
I'm excited. Bailey and I have already talked about this off of the line. The way you just blinked at me. Hoping that him and Phoebe, who we talked about last week, are on a very cool villain team together.
I think that'd be super
because cool. I know that we talked a lot. We don't know.
We don't know anything.
Thank you, Bailey. We don't know what they have joined the cast for, but I think it would be really, really cool to see them as villains because I think they would have a fascinating dynamic.
Well, and they would be, I feel like, fairly intellectual villains. And I think there's something like the next movie almost has to go that direction because I don't even remember how old Harrison Ford's going to be, but he's not going to be jumping all over the place.
Not doing parkour.
Movie. Yeah, he can't do all the things he did in the past. And so I feel like they do have to make this more of a journey of the mind as much as anything else. And 78, thank you, Clocky. And so if it's coming out, what is it, 2 years from now? Is it 2023 it comes out? Or is it 2022?
Time is not real. I honestly could not tell you.
A year ago, I could have told you, but that was before they changed it 12 times.
That's also true. It's made movies very hard to keep track of because...
Oh, next July. So July 2022. So he'll be like 80 years old by then. And yes, he is very cool, but I don't know that he could go all the way, jumping on trains and other things.
That's okay.
Yeah. Oh, it totally is. It'll be interesting
I
to see
also
how it goes.
think that villains, one, with a cool backstory are more interesting, but two, when it's not just fighting and action sequences, I'm a lot more interested in the villain when they have a like you're saying, intellectual, what have you.
Well, and that's what I think so great about the first movie is like the main villain is not the thug.
Yeah.
Like he's basically Indiana Jones if he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I love that they do that because I think you could do something similar with this. And maybe that is what they're going to do here is you're going to have, the good side. I mean, we haven't heard if Marion's in this, but you could have that couple over here, that couple over there.
Definitely.
And they're, pairing off against each other, which could be kind of humorous in its own ways. And then we see what happens with Sun and all of those kind of things that, who knows, maybe they could just walk away from. But I don't know. It'll be.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. I just need to watch all the other Indiana Jones movies.
You've watched the first 2, right?
Yeah, we watched the first 2.
So we have 2 more to go.
Yep.
So someday we'll have movie nights again, and then we will get through the next 2.
Yeah, it's hard. We have so many movies to watch all the time.
I mean, technically we could watch them on Sunday nights too, but we'll see.
But I'm weird.
Okay.
I'll be upfront with you guys of why I'm weird. I don't want to watch movies that are too long on the live stream because I don't feel like that's entertaining for anybody.
Well, and it's not super comfortable to sit here.
Yeah, so we're already pushing it with like an hour 45.
Like we're pushing it with a half an hour. Like everything in here has been scrounged up or is used or,
well loved.
Well loved, yes. In fact, I think I guess the microphones were brand new. We purchased those new. The table was built for us new. Donald Duck and Kermit, the Porg, the artwork. The artwork was so some of this stuff's new.
Some, but the things we sit on, not new.
All used.
So it's not very comfortable.
No.
Okay.
Well, the trick is finding said new chairs.
And the other issue is that when
the final frontier.
No, when we do have the money for new chairs, it's a bit like that episode of The Office where they get the bonus and they have to decide if they want the new chairs or the copier. We always decide that we want to put the money somewhere else. We never decide that we want to put the money in the chairs.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make it sound better.
Yeah.
That's always been the number one priority. And so that's probably why it's not. And
that's okay. We put our comfort last for you.
For your ears. Someday we'll just get a sound tech.
Remember when we had staff?
A team? People?
Remember when we weren't
would interact with
alone?
Us? Yes, I do remember this. There we go. Let's get a lazy boy. Lazy boy might not look so good on camera though. We need
No, they have office
do they have
chairs.
Office chairs?
I believe.
I only know.
I know they built the brand off of their recliners, but I do believe they have other chairs.
Fascinating. Welcome to Geeks Corner, Chair Edition. Finally, there was a new trailer, the only trailer that was released for, is it Shang-Chi? Is that how you say it, right? And the Legend of the Ten Rings. I will flat out admit, I don't know much about this storyline or this character. I've heard a little bit and I'm intrigued, and I really liked the trailer, mainly because it's different and it was the kind of movie that I grew up really enjoying.
Yeah.
And so, I'm looking forward to, first off, watching it in a theater with popcorn and soda.
Definitely.
And it'll probably be coffee. Who am I kidding? But
I'll have the soda and you'll steal some.
Yeah. But I'm really also looking forward to having a night where our movie night where we're reviewing it with pizza and all of that stuff. And it just and all of the junk food that we shouldn't be eating. Because it just seems like one of those, it's going to be a really fun movie.
Definitely.
That probably has way more heart and depth than we'd ever imagine. What do you think?
All I know about it is that when we first talked about this on Geeks Corner 2 years ago, I think we had Nathan Hatton on for that episode. He freaked out because
I almost invited him on tonight, but I didn't know exactly how we would make the camera thing work.
We should have him on soon because he's a great wealth of knowledge on Marvel. But I remember he freaked out because he was so excited to see the story get told in movie format. So even though I still know nothing, Nathan's excitement keeps me going. Because it's really fun when you have friends that care a lot about things, even when you know nothing, especially when you know nothing.
It's contagious. You get excited about it.
And so it was fun. He was texting me yesterday about how awesome the trailer was, and he literally was like, drop everything and watch it right now.
And if you want to know anything about the Apple announcements today, just go to my Twitter thread where I ask him about what happened today. You don't need to read any other articles because his response was like, okay, I'm good, thanks.
At Nathan Hatton 1, he is a wealth of knowledge on a lot of things.
And say we sent him or sent you. All right, so I think we are running out of time tonight, Katie.
Yes, we are. You can go to dabsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. From there, you could also shop and go find our Buddy Pals merchandise, along with Geeks Corner merchandise, Dabs Magic merchandise.
Everything we got.
Take us with you.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got lots of videos coming up, including opening day videos. In fact, we are going to do opening day dueling streams. Murray will be going into Disney California Adventure when the parks open. We will be going into Disneyland at the same time. We will see what happens. We don't actually know for sure that this will work, but we're going to do it anyway.
We're going to find out.
Yes, but that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you round the corner.
Bye.